Hey everybody,
Hey
how's it
guys,
going?
what's back? What the fuck? I can't believe you're still here. I think we have zero viewers now.
Oh my
We read
God.
whoever the audience was away, right? Or
No, we still
are they
have
are still
our
coming back or what? What do you
yeah,
think?
we still have a solid 5 views.
Okay,
Well,
so those who are
it
kind of
really
voyeuristic,
depends. Like really
I would
depends on
talk
the
to
episode.
Roberto. This might be the episode I take my shirt off again.
Oh my God. Let's
Let's
well,
just
you've
get
been
it over
working out
with.
and
I'm just gonna take
everything.
my shirt off because I'm very proud that I'm back to my high school weight. Okay,
How much is
so
that?
those
Let's see, was that 145?
yeah, I got a little bit sick. I was 145, but even before I was sick, I was 149. So
Okay.
I was a wrestler for 6 years, from seventh grade to 12th grade. I was varsity. I was really good. I won tournaments. And during the off season, I was 145, give or take, right? 142,
Damn.
143, 145. And that was during the summer, when I didn't really care about my weight. But when I wrestled, my weight class was 135.
135, man, that's crazy.
Yeah. And
Like I don't think
so,
I've ever been I can't remember a time when I was 135.
but
Remember like
also, you
in
also look at the back of my hands, guys. You see that? The back of my hands I'm showing you on the podcast. And also look at my neck area, right? So when you check out someone and you see how old they are, you can also you can check these spots that you really hard to do, like Botox or plastic
okay.
surgery. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when you look at people who have like this stuff done, I didn't get anything done. All right, I want to tell you what I did. I listened to David Sinclair, and I listened to basically science, and science dictates that you are a computer. Your body is a computer, and there's actually a program to run on your hard drive. If you activate this program, it will de-age you. It will make you younger again. Okay, we talked about this before.
Yep. Yeah, we
Um,
shared it.
yep, and let me just review it. So what I've been taking is, I've been taking in the morning. I'll tell you the exact routine. So I wake up around 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. I just naturally do. I don't know why. I thought old people did that for some reason because they just got old and they just woke up because they don't need enough sleep. But actually, I understand what goes on now, right? So your computer, your body, at night needs to kind of synthesize what happens during the day.
Okay.
So your memories, all these things that happen, they actually don't get preserved indefinitely. What happens is your body kind of creates all these patterns and has pattern recognition, right? So pattern recognitions would say, hey, I had this for breakfast. And this is similar to another pattern of eating breakfast or whatever. So you forget things that are actually in that pattern of your life, right? And the things that are different or new or exciting, you tend to remember more because there are different models that you have to kind of like framework your day into and synthesize all that knowledge. And as you get older and older, the patterns look less and less new,
Okay.
right?
Like you've seen it all kind of situation? Like, okay, this
Yeah,
is
like wisdom,
okay.
right? Wisdom
Yeah,
should
yeah, yeah.
be, hey, I've seen that playbook many times because I've actually been through the process of doing whatever you're good at. So let's say you're an artist and you've been painting for 30 years. You know how to
Yeah.
paint,
So
right?
you're
There
just
may be
bored.
new strokes you can learn here and there from other artists, but it's very rare, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like to actually come up with something new, it is like it doesn't just happen.
It doesn't happen, okay, but it does happen. Here's what happens. Okay. So creativity, I've been talking about this and I've been thinking about this. Where does creativity come from? Well, creativity comes from many patterns that you've recognized, lots of wisdom. And those little nodes, these little neurons, they all fire at each other in a temporal and spatial way. Meaning, a neuron is here. Let's say a neuron is my left hand, and
Okay.
another neuron is my right hand. And these neurons, what they do is they fire. So they're almost like little explosions of energy, right? Explosions of information, actually, because the energy is in voltage, it's in electricity. So the closer you are to that neuron, the clearer the signal. Just like when I'm closer to you and I'm
Yeah.
talking to you, the closer I am, you can hear me better, right? And so what happens is your neurons, let's say the two neurons next to each other, this would fire and this would receive, but it doesn't just receive, it receives and then fires back maybe. Okay. And so it fires something else because it's essentially a filter of that information and saying, hey, if I receive this information, I'm going to fire this thing. All
Okay.
right. And that's how basically if conditionals work and thought works. And let's say this neuron fires back, this neuron fires back, and they actually kind of fire back the same signal back and forth. That's the drum beat. That's someone playing bass or something on the offhand on the piano, right? Or that's something that you basically, these two neurons have been trained to be musically entangled into a
Okay.
cluster, right? So this is your neuron talking to the neuron next to it to play basically the drums. And if you're really good at drums, I bet if you scan your brain, there'll be neurons that fire, 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 fire. And it's just a program you just start. You initiate the firing of one neuron. Doesn't matter if it's the left neuron or the right neuron, but it's going to start the beat of
Okay.
that song and that bass song. And then you just play it by heart. And then you can sing like Eric Clapton. You can play guitar and sing. Okay. Because what you do is you start this program, and this program might actually be neuron to neuron to neuron to neuron, and it actually might be a chord. Okay.
Okay.
And those chords play automatically because all you do is you start this program like you would a program on your desktop, on your Windows machine, or your phone. You might open Spotify to listen to music while you read the newspaper on Yahoo.com or wherever you subscribe to CNN, whatever the online browser. But the idea is a multi-functional system that you are in charge of. Okay, so you can think of your consciousness as you opening these programs in your brain, right? And sometimes these programs open other programs, and you don't even realize it.
Okay, because like you become so good at it that you can like run a bunch of them at the same time.
No, that's where creativity comes from. Okay, so this neuron fires, and they have a drum beat. Okay, now this drum beat is actually not playing in a vacuum. There's actually other neurons next to it, and other neurons next to it. And farther away you are from those two beats, those two neurons playing, the less you hear, the less clear it is, the less signal, the less it sounds like the original song. It sounds more like a thud or something, maybe something, not even the right note, but it just sounds like a rhythm.
Okay.
And from far away, there may be a neuron that has emotion. And the emotion is being basically woken up. Right, the signal that it sees, it can't tell the difference between that rhythm and the rhythm of your mom's heartbeat. And your mom's heartbeat has this sensation where you feel at ease. You feel like you're back in the womb. You feel like that beat somehow is soothing.
Okay.
Emotionally. Right? And then another neuron somewhere else fires. And that neuron has nothing to do with this emotion. It has to do with eating, maybe, right? It has to do with do, 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 do. When you hear that do, 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 it sounds like the pitter patter of noodles, maybe bubbling. And you all of a sudden get hungry, and all of a sudden you want to eat ramen. I don't know, but the idea is this is the source of information, and this information is a cacophony of information firing at all times. And by the way, someone calls you or talks to you at the same time you're playing the song, and there's another set of information that gets fired. And then all of a sudden, you have a connection. And the connection is the next song you want to write. You know what I'm saying? As an artist.
Yeah, because you start making like your own networks of references, and everything just like goes and looks for like a different idea or whatever it is you connected that emotion with or that moment with, and everything turns on.
You could think of your brain as a series of songs or programs being run at a time. And these programs, they interact with each other. And by the interaction of these two programs that you don't even think are related, there's a third program that gets initiated, and that's the creative mind, right? Because you might have been with creative mind is you have these little thoughts that you always have, like I want to write a book, so I need to know what happens in the plot. I want to write a play, I want to write a song, whatever, and you have these little fishing hooks in your brain.
Okay.
And these fishing hooks are always listening for inspiration. Okay. Now, the inspiration that you hear is a lot of noise from this world. But when you wake up at 4 a.m., 3 a.m., that is the best time for creativity.
At 3 a.m.?
Because actually, that's when you had your dreams.
Okay.
So when you had your dreams, what happens is your dreams, you synthesized, or whatever the day, even if you don't have dreams, your mind synthesizes what happened the day before. It's an amalgam of all the information from the day before into a series of songs at night. But also you wake up from the quantum realm. Okay. And the quantum realm in your brain is a receiver in the Basil Ganglia, the claudate putamen, right? There's actually an area of the brain where Gary Nolan at Stanford has detected activity, more advanced activity. So we're talking about the best discoveries of 2022, right? Let's talk about some of the science discoveries. This is the end of the year episode, right?
Yep, last
One of the
one.
greatest discoveries this year is the mutant detector. The mutant detector that Gary Nolan invented is an MRI scan, just a regular MRI scan where you can just detect if your basal ganglia, in particular the claudate putamen, right? If that part of the brain is enlarged and more active, it means you're a mutant and you're telepathic. It means you have special powers. This is not fake. This is X-Men level science. Someone has discovered how to find X-Men,
Yeah,
how to find
and it's
mutants.
proven. Man, that's
And
the
it's
amazing
proven.
part of it. Well, they have like a specific power though.
Yes, but this is not the only time MRI machines have been used to detect telepathy, right? There are
Yeah,
twins or people who are supposed to be telepathic across the globe, and they had peer review papers and all these things where people would actually measure the MRI machines, and they would detect that this person can actually communicate with other person across the globe. Okay, and it's not weird because what happens is everything that we know in the past are told through fairy tales or told through anecdotes, told through stories that we may or may not believe until we scientifically prove it. And we actually have the tools of science at our discretion. And if we look into the telescope, like Galileo did, Galileo looked into the telescope, and he wasn't the only one who knew telescopic
yeah,
power.
yeah,
Everyone they were using basically these telescopes to see across the globe when they were shipping, right? They would
yeah,
look at other ships and they would shoot other ships with cannon, and they had to see where they were shooting, right? As well as
yeah.
going to travel and explore the globe. You need to have these telescopes, and you can point in the sky instead and look at the moon and see that it has craters on it. It's not cheese. It's not made of cheese like those fairy tales. It's
Yeah,
made
no,
of craters, right? And you can see that Jupiter has rings, and you can see that there's actually planets, and we actually are not the center of the universe.
and then you get killed by the church all of a sudden.
Okay, so number one invention of the year was Gary Nolan's mutant detector. Number two
Was
invention
it
of the
this
year
year?
is the Galileo project that Avi Loeb has set up at Harvard,
Yep.
as well as some other organizations like UAPX. It started by Chris Lido, right? Chris Lido is an Air Force pilot. He retired recently, and he started a podcast. And he's been investigating LEHTO, LEHTO, Chris Lido, right? The LEHTO files is his podcast.
LEH.
I
Sorry.
highly recommend it. Okay, this guy is saying the same things I'm saying. He's saying that basically we are part of a universe, and the universe that we're in is a living being,
Okay.
and we're just basically little cells in basically the being that makes up the universe, because the cells that we have look very similar to the galaxies out there, or the
Yeah.
nebula looks like the bacteria in our bodies. So the idea is that basically from above, so is below. That is the religious saying, right? So like everything above us is a reflection of below. So what's going on is it's basically what my theory is that there is a metaverse, there is a universe. It's called the resolution of reality theory, right? And the metaverse and the universes are actually multiverses actually coexist, but not the way you think about it. It's not stupid dimensions where you have frequencies and all that stuff. That's bullshit. Okay. What really happens is there's a resolution of reality where there's a resolution of size. So depending on the size that you are in, you have a plane of existence. For example, we
Okay.
are in the 5 foot, 6 foot realm,
Yeah.
and we can see things at a cosmic scale up to maybe the galaxy level, right?
Okay.
Maybe the solar system
Yep.
level, but
Yeah.
only recently, right?
Like that. Yeah. Exactly. That's what we just comprehend. Like not that long ago.
So that's the universe above us. That's in terms of size. We're just a
Okay.
cell in something much larger, and there's a resolution of time. So the resolution of time means for us, we live 100 years, give or take.
Yeah.
But
Pretty
that
much.
that the body that we're in, the universe that we're in, lives much longer. In fact, it's infinity to us. We can't even measure it. It doesn't. Just like that bacteria, the bacteria that you are made of 50% bacteria. You know that
fifty
your
percent.
body is 50% not you. You know that, right?
No, I
That is
did
a
not know.
fact. Look it
Like
up.
Man, like a new fear
You,
unlocked right now.
you can count the trillions of cells in your body, and mathematically, 50% of those cells are not you. It's actually the cosmic universe, right? So the bacteria are us.
Because that
So
50% is a
imagine that
lot.
you are the universe, and you are the planets, and you are the solar system, and you're basically everything that is, let's say, not moving really and not alive,
Hmm.
right? Because you're at the scale of us. You don't even think about the bacteria, but the bacteria live and die very short lives. The resolution of time is
Okay.
so short that for them, a lifetime is a nanosecond, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. Yeah.
not nanosecond, maybe a day, something like that, right? A day to
Hmm.
them is like 100 years to us.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. 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 It's a
So
way
then, how many
different.
days do you live in your life, man? Do you give a shit about bacteria who dies in a day? Probably not. But maybe you could, right? Maybe you could. And in fact, that's what science of medicine is. The
Yeah.
science of medicine is taking our godlike powers and affecting the bacteria or affecting our cells and making that universe that's below us healthy.
Well,
So
you're
that as
definitely
a
like aware
greater
of them though.
being, we are healthy.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely aware of them, and like every time you like you eat something wrong or you mess up your stomach, and you're like, man, like that hurt, and you have to like take care of that bacteria again, so everything like starts running smoothly.
It's actually different. Okay, the way you think about it is actually that's not the way you should think about it. The way you should think about
Okay.
it, according to my theory, is what we're doing is we're doing God magic.
Okay.
Okay, I told this to the staff that I recently hired. I gave them this lecture. What is God magic? God magic is a realization. There's a resolution of size. There's a resolution of energy because we're bigger than the bacteria. So when we do something in our world, it's like a supernova. It's
Okay.
like a black hole. It's like the powers of a black hole, the powers of a supernova. We basically represent that to the bacteria. We can squash the
Yeah.
bacteria with a little a pinprint, right? Or just a little bit of flame or whatever, or chemical. In our world, we basically control any universes below us very easily because we have godlike magic, godlike information, and godlike powers. Does that make
In rela-
sense?
yeah, in relationship to this lower level though.
To the lower universe. So the lower universes has a resolution of time that's shorter than us. So we control anyone with a resolution of time shorter than us. For example, bees.
Yeah.
We can affect them because no matter how much they fight us, they can't remember past what generation, like maybe 6 months, right? Or a year when they live. So when
Okay.
we battle, let's say bees, we can live 100 years. We live way longer than they do. It's almost like battling a vampire. And the vampire or whatever the superhero bad guy lives 1,000,000 years and you live 100 years. There's
It's
a huge
true.
advantage in having a
Yeah.
history and all that knowledge and all that, all that stuff. So basically, as a god, you have to realize that anything with a resolution of time less than you, that's a lower universe. Resolution of size, right? Resolution of size is anything smaller than, let's say, 100 times smaller than you. So let's say you're 5 foot. 100 times smaller than you is something, let's say, like a penny or below.
Okay.
Anything that's a penny below, you can kick their ass. Okay, then if whether it's a bee or not, you can kick their ass because literally, as long as there's not too many of them, 1-on-1, right, or maybe 1-on-100 even, you can basically be Thor and they can just be puny humans, or you can be
What about a
whatever.
virus though?
What's that?
What about a
Sure, a
virus?
virus. But the thing is, that's resolution of information.
Okay.
Resolution of information, right?
Like it's a
So
different
resolution
category.
of information says, okay, I have access to my resolution of information, my size, but I have to use some tools like telescopes. I mean,
Okay.
microscopes, right?
Yeah.
Or telescopes, right, to go up, right? And microscopes to go down, but microscopes to go down really to see the universe of the nano world for me to fight that virus. So as a god, I have disadvantages too because there's so many bacteria. If I want to interact with that one bacteria, which is what killing cancer is about, or killing bad
Yeah.
guys are about, I need to basically go into that world. Now, how do I go into that world and affect it, right? I have to have a microscope and some information about that world and start to study it and learn how the bacteria interacts. Isn't that called science? Isn't that called like healthcare, right? Isn't that called like research? And I'm looking at how these bacteria interact and how these cancer cells interact, how my healthy cells interact, like God is
Okay.
watching us live.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah. Yeah. And
God
then you try
watching
like to
his
fix it.
flock and understanding that there's good bacteria, there's bad bacteria, there's good people, people who are spiritually aware, people who aren't so spiritually aware, people who belong, in this area of that planet, right? People who don't belong because they're cancerous and they need to be destroyed. So maybe the wrath of God is somehow trying to find those cancerous cells and destroying them. But how do you do that? You have to tag them, maybe give them a
Yeah.
mark, right? And then you have to go and get the good guys to kill them. So your own body can try to kill them, right? Your immune system will say, hey, that's a bad guy. Or maybe you introduce something that grabs the bad guy. But the idea is you're trying to play God in that
As
universe.
yeah, as best as you can with whatever information and knowledge you have.
But God is not almighty. God can only see so much. God can only do so many things. God relies on the bacteria in your own body, right? That's actually
Yeah.
the easiest way for God to get things done. You tell an army, you tell the Pope, hey, do these rules. If you don't do these rules, you go to hell. So get your people to follow that, and that's the religion. And that's easier for you than going and telling everyone what to do. You tell one person what to do, and then you can control the entire flock.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
make sense?
Well, no, it's like the whole democratic system. You're like you like somebody, and then he's gonna take care of these people,
Right.
and you go, yeah,
Or maybe you give information, or you feed someone more, or you give them more weapons and more skill or more superpowers. So, for example, you can activate your body's natural, what's called NAD. Okay?
okay,
So NAD is something in your body that helps bring energy around your body, and it essentially is a natural thing, just like they're naturally knights of the round table.
okay,
And you
yeah,
need to feed it NNM. NNM is basically a powder that I take every day. Just going back to the whole healthcare thing, right? You take this powder, it's 1 gram. It's essentially very, very cheap. It's only $2 a day, right? You can buy it online. And you want a really pure powder of NNM because you take 1 gram of it sublingually, meaning under your tongue. You put it on your tongue and have it kind of absorb into your body really quickly. Or you can put it into yogurt or something like that and eat it. Or just take it even a pill. I think all those methods will probably work.
yeah. As long as you
But the
get it
reason
in.
why you want to do this is because you want to have energy to run the resveratrol. So the resveratrol is, again, part of the David Sinclair kind of supplements that he recommends. Resveratrol, again, you can buy a powder. The powder, you want to take 1 gram of it. You want to mix it with yogurt. Because when you mix it with yogurt, it actually absorbs better. Because resveratrol is not soluble. In fact, it needs something fatty like oil, butter, or yogurt. And you don't need
Okay,
that much, maybe like 2 spoons of yogurt, 3 spoons of yogurt, and mix that powder with it. And you can mix the NNM with it too. And then have that and skip breakfast. Okay?
okay,
Because resveratrol is basically the skin of a grape. Okay, it comes from the skin of a grape. NNM comes from the powder comes from a root. Like something natural, like basically, these are actual. They're not chemically made. They're basically natural things that come from nature. Why?
okay.
Because this is actually in all animals, right?
Like all
The
these
ability to create sirtuins.
Okay,
Sirtuins are basically the knights of the round table. These people go and they kill the bad guys, and they make you young again. Literally, they basically take your DNA and they fix it, and they make it better. They polish it, right? So you can look like you were back in high school, like I do, right? Where I have muscles like this, right? And I'm like 145, and I showed Roberto my shirt. Maybe I'll take it off at the end for those who want to stay. You gotta listen to me a little bit before I take my shirt off. You gotta wine and dine me, okay?
exactly. Buy me a beer or a coffee.
I know, seriously. You gotta
Like
listen to all my stupid stories
exactly. Then I'll
before
get
I take my
naked.
shirt off. But I will. Anyway, so basically the idea is you take the resveratrol, and the resveratrol will actually turn on your sirtuins, which naturally turn on already after 12 hours of not eating. Because it's not what you eat, it's when you eat. I eat steak, I eat fatty foods, I eat pasta, I drink beer, I drink lots of alcohol once in a while just because I want to party, but I don't, not that much, probably like 2 or 3 drinks max because I'm a lightweight now because I don't drink at all normally, right? But literally, you can binge eat for 4 hours and not eat
That,
for the rest of the day and be skinny.
yeah, no,
Literally,
for sure.
literally.
Yeah. Well, what I've
I'm
been
not
doing
joking with you.
is the fasting though. Like I've been fasting for like 16 hours, and then I
Yep.
eat whatever I want. It's good.
You can
and it
eat.
works.
You can
It's
eat
worked
freaking leech on
wonders,
it, like
man.
the freaking the pork, the roast pork. That's like has all that
Yeah,
fat and shit. You know what I do? I take the bacon that I cook for my kids. I take the grease. And I cook everything with the bacon grease.
nice. That's tasty stuff. It's amazing.
It's awesome. And you know that the oil and vegetable oil, that's not necessarily good for you either, right? So like if you take
Canola one,
natural
like,
fat and you
yeah,
cook your eggs in fat and all the stuff you cook in the bacon fat, it's freaking fantastic. The pig didn't die for so you can get rid of all the fat. You can
using
use that
all of it,
fat
man.
for
Yeah,
stuff and you can store it for like a week or two, a couple of weeks even. And the idea is like it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter because
exactly. Like you're gonna burn it anyways.
your body needs energy, right? And it can
Yeah,
convert it, right? And basically, what happens is your body is going to get damaged anyway. Everything causes cancer, man. Everyone causes
especially now. I
everything
mean,
is
like,
bad for you.
shit.
No, sir, everything to some degree. For example, if, let's say you eat wheat. You know
Yep.
how bad wheat is for you, man?
Well, it's supposed to be like it inflames your intestines and everything.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So you can think about basically your epigenome is basically your intestines,
Mhm.
basically everything in your colon, everything, all the bacteria, they're good or bad, they're all kind of in there. A lot of them are in there, right? It's a whole universe, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And you can
It's
think of your
very
lining,
complex.
the lining of the intestines and all that stuff, the colon, and all that, in your stomach and all that, right? They have basically these pores, and these pores allow only a certain size, a small size,
Hmm.
to go through your lining. And those things, okay, you can think of food as a series of pearl necklaces, okay, basically hydrocarbons, right? So
Yep.
basically it's basically a series of pearls of molecules that connect to each other via some type of connection, right, chemically, right? And what happens is that the acids and bacteria and other things in your enzymes in your line, in your basically your belly and all that stuff in your stomach, that break down those pearls necklaces, and they're no longer necklaces, they're little nuggets of pearls.
Okay.
Okay, now you can imagine those pearls. Some of those pearls are good, they're actually nutrients, and those go through your stomach lining and through those pores, because those pearls are the right size and they're small enough. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they've been broken
Now
down
comes
properly.
along this wheat thing. This wheat thing is super big, it's abrasive, it's actually like sandpaper, and it breaks the pores of your lining and makes them bigger.
Shit.
Okay. Now, instead of these small pearls going through, these bigger pearls are going through. Not the ones you want necessarily.
Hmm. Just like something
And your
bigger.
body naturally repairs everything every day through sirtuins, through other stuff. And naturally, if you're young, you repair that lining every day. You repair it and it's actually okay. In fact, the repair is so fast that those pores, they get repaired really quickly. So not many bad things go through at all. And even the bad things that go through, they might harm parts of your body, but you essentially have stem cells everywhere. So your
Okay.
stem cells can rebuild parts of your body. And in fact, your body is a brand new body every 7 years. Do you know that?
Yeah, but I thought it was like only like skin. I didn't think like
Everything.
whole body changed.
No, everything. In fact, they found two new organs in your body. One of the first new organ, I believe, is the area between things is actually an organ.
What is the area
The
between
gaps
what?
between everything is actually an organ.
Huh.
It's like yes, that's an organ. That's a new organ they discovered this year. Oh, they said. And there's another organ, I forget. But the idea is your body, your body system is actually very good at repairing itself if you allow
Yeah.
it to.
Exactly. I was talking to this like back in the days on like this. He was a huge bodybuilder, and he was explaining to me that your body is this machine that can do anything depending on what kind of fuel you give it. He was like, you eat trash, you're gonna be trash. Like you eat like good stuff, your body will function and perform at that level because you gave it good quality things. So it has nutrients, it has all the right vitamins, it can do everything it's supposed to do normally, and you will feel
Yeah,
great. Like, and it's amazing. And it was like, you know what? Like this makes sense. Like I've seen a ton of people that, like just like
it's
eat
actually more
random.
than that, man. Okay,
Hmm.
so hear me out.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all about starving your body and killing everything that doesn't need to be there. Okay, just imagine you have a party and there's no more liquor.
Yeah.
It's going to dissipate very quickly. People are going to leave the
Yeah.
party because there's no more liquor. So if you have no more sugars, if you have nothing in your stomach, if you have nothing in your bodies to eat, the bad guys, they start to die. Okay, So actually, the way you treat cancer, a lot of the ways you treat cancer is you try to starve cancer. So the way you can think about your body is like you have all these veins, and these veins carry oxygen to your body and other nutrients. Now, do you know that these veins are actually created live and then destroyed live in your body all the time? Okay.
Oh.
So, for example, you might you might be working out and you actually might create more veins to a certain part of your body that needs more oxygen. Okay. So when you work out, what's going on is your veins are actually expanding to different parts of your body, and you're actually increasing your circulation.
There's not an established set of veins?
No,
Shit.
that's not what it is, man. Look it up. I'm telling you, this is the real science, right?
Yeah.
Right. So these veins grow.
That's amazing.
And
Like
actually,
how smart your body is.
yes. And there's actually the scientist, I forget the name of the scientist, but basically he's been studying nutrition, right? And there's always good and bad foods, and there's reasons why they're good and they're bad. But ultimately, your body needs to starve itself every day, and the reason why is because let's say you kill everything, you kill good guys, you kill bad guys. There's no more drinks. Everyone just get the fuck out. My body, like this party's over. You can't eat me anymore. There's nothing going on here.
Leave.
Then you basically have to rebuild your body when you eat. So when you rebuild your body, you rebuild it from the stem cells. You rebuild it from the new cells.
Okay.
And your senescent cells, there's actually bad cells. Your body has senescent cells.
Yep. Yeah.
So senescent cells are cells have divided so many times. I think each cell can divide like 120 times, something give or take, right? 110, something like that. And you can actually get repaired, so you can actually divide more. But the senescent cells secrete something called CD38. They probably secrete other stuff too. But CD38 says, hey, don't feed me anymore. I'm dead. Don't give me more NAD. Don't give me more nutrients.
Like it's kind of like trying to maximize the resources though.
Correct. It's like, hey, dude, I'm an old guy.
Yeah, like
I
we're
don't
good
need
here.
more food. I'm going to be dead anyway. You should probably get rid of me anyway.
Yeah.
So there's a natural system to get rid of those guys, the senescent cells. But that naturally happens because that's the cell that doesn't get fed, the cell that dies, the cell that doesn't belong anymore gets flushed out because you have good circulation, right? These cells naturally should leave your body every day, and that's what 12 hours of not eating does.
12.
Right?
Okay, cool.
12 hours of not eating turns on your sirtuins, turns on the garbage collection, turns on all these things. I'm going to do some street cleaning. All right? The party was over, but there's still a mess here. I got to get rid of all the bottles, get rid of all the trash, get rid of all the throw up. I got to clean the bathroom. I got to make this home nice again. How long do you want that to happen? Do you want it to happen for half an hour? You want it to happen for 4 hours? If you want it to happen for 4 hours, don't eat breakfast. Take that 3 spoons of yogurt. Take the 2 supplements I told you to take. And that's what I do every day. I do that around 5 a.m.
But that breaks your fasting though.
No, it doesn't, because what happens is the yogurt, right? It's kind of like a liquid. So anything liquidy, like if you want to break the fast, do something like smoothie or something with a liquid, right? Because it won't be as bad because it's broken down and all that stuff. And also, not really, because the yogurt is actually kind of sticky. It will line to the stomach. It will actually stick to the line of your stomach. It will take a long time to digest. It doesn't have that many calories in it. I do put some fruit in it, but that's okay. 10, even if you have some calories, it's okay. Because I'm not saying don't have any calories at all. I'm just saying starve yourself. So if I eat a spoon of yogurt, am I starving myself? Yeah. Pretty much, right? He's like a spoon of yogurt or 2 spoons of yogurt, right?
Yeah, well, like I've been curving those like with coffee. I never drank coffee until like I started doing the fasting thing, and it helps a lot. Like because
you can drink liquids. Like I said, liquids don't count, right? You can do teas.
Yeah. Teas.
And if you want to do a smoothie, let's go ahead. Or a smoothie, that's fine.
I'm doing like a smoothie supper, right? Actually. Like a smoothie supper will get you, supper. It's around like 7 o'clock. And then I just like take a smoothie because it's easy to digest and your body actually like gets to rest at night.
Here's what I do. I do a bubble tea, man. I like bubble tea. Good. I have avocado bubble tea or regular bubble tea or taro bubble tea. But bubble tea is mostly tea. Sometimes avocado, which is good for you, right? If you want to get like a bubble, like a flavored one. And taro is not bad either. Those are actually good, like good things to have. And you can have that for lunch instead. So, but let's say you don't eat breakfast. That's 4 hours. Let's say until, 12. If you can wait till 1 o'clock, that's 5 hours. 5 hours of someone going in and cleaning your dorm after it's been trashed by the frat boys.
Yeah. No, it's amazing.
That's a nice cleaning.
And it's gotten like some really good results on this. And then the thing is that at night, I used to know these people that the bulk of their food was ingested at night, and they would wake up like all messed up all the time because like your body just spent like 6 hours digesting this instead of focusing on resting and on getting and fixing stuff that you did throughout the day.
Right. So you don't even have, you can do anything you want. Like in terms of like, your daily habits,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
live a normal
Everybody's got a
life.
different
Just
formula.
change your eating habits. That's it. Just when you eat. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So, well, 1 o'clock you can eat. Like I can have a lunch with a colleague. I can eat a normal lunch. I don't have to eat a small lunch. I can eat whatever lunch I want. But that,
exactly.
because once I eat, it's game over anyway. Right. For because now the cleaning people, they're gone.
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not they're
yeah.
not here anymore. So
Exactly.
I
So it
don't.
doesn't
It doesn't
matter.
matter what I eat at that point.
And the thing is
Okay.
that like just like me, just existing, I burn around like 1,500 calories or to 1,600 calories. Then plus the
Sure.
workout, so you get like some calories in the bank. It's like I'm like you don't have to worry at all about like, oh, this is
Yeah.
gonna stick or this is like just eat, enjoy.
Because there's actually happiness endorphins.
Oh yeah,
Happiness
definitely.
endorphins that come from good food, like a delicious meal with like a family member or a friend or something that's like memorable, not because you were dieting, because you had like the best steak and cheese ever.
Yeah,
Because that's what you
yeah.
eat at that place, or like the buffalo wings that you had, and you enjoy that beer or whatever it is. Just have fun and live your life. That's the great part about this.
And a
It's a
bunch of people
lifestyle,
think,
right?
yeah, exactly. And a bunch of people think it's like it's this is not a race; it's a marathon. It's like this is for the like long run. So pick something that is sustainable for you through time. It's not like for the
But
next
it's
two
also
months
based
I'm
on
going to do this.
science.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
based
yeah.
on like actual strategic way to live your life. So let's say you know what, I don't have to have lunch today because I'm actually not that hungry. I can skip lunch. So at the beginning, I just skipped once, twice a week. And guess what that becomes when you eat dinner? That's a 24-hour fast. That's 12 hours,
Yeah.
right?
From
12
the day
hours
before.
of
Yeah.
the cleaning folks, cleaning up your dorm after the frat boys trashed it.
Did you
You know what
watch
I'm saying?
the?
That's a
There was
lot of
like this.
cleaning.
There's this
That's a
thing
deep
on I think
clean.
it was on Disney Plus, like where they have the guy from Thor. What's his name? Chris Hemsworth, and he's going through all these different things and like to figure out his body and how to live longer because I think he they found out he has Alzheimer's or like a tendency to. And in one of the episodes, they actually do like a 24-hour fasting, and that's like the logic behind it. It's like what you said is like to kill all the bad stuff.
Exactly. Okay. Because you're basically now at that point,
Hmm.
okay, you maximize the potential of your body to heal itself. Okay, but you need some other supplements. Okay, so the first one was NNM. It's a powder you can buy for $2 a day. Number two was resveratrol. It's also a powder you can buy for $2 a day. Okay. Um, the third thing you want to take is metformin. Metformin is a drug that you have to get by prescription, and there's a website you can go and you can get like an online doctor to give you a prescription. Don't go to your regular doctor, because I went to my regular doctor and they said no to me a couple of times because they're a
Why?
bunch of ding dongs. Because they don't want to prescribe something that the insurance company don't want you to do because it's actually
Ah,
healthy for you. Okay, and
yeah.
actually it's proven to be correct, but they don't want to do it because they're not true scientists. They're just part of the system. Don't trust them. I do clinical research for a living for 5 years. Trust me. Okay, I know there's a lot of good drugs out there that
Yeah.
they don't make money on.
So
They don't
like
make money
screw
on
it.
it because you get healthy. It's not good in their best interest. Their best interest is to have a chronic disease where you pay $1,000 a month for the rest of your life.
Yeah, no, they get you
That's their
hooked
best
on that.
interest for their company.
And it's crazy. Like the big difference you see is that I haven't gotten sick in years. I never got COVID. Like I never really took care of myself other than like the working out and the eating. But this like the mask wearing and all these things, like I've been in dense like population dense place. I went to Cocobongo in Punta Cana. There was like maybe like 1,000 people in that thing. And it's all one building, nobody wearing a mask, everybody's just partying, never got anything. So once you
Well,
like
because
figure out
when you were
this
younger, living in Ecuador, I bet you were exposed to a ton of bacteria.
probably
Okay. So same thing with me in Vietnam, right? So those are like the environments with the bacteria. You basically have them in your body already,
yeah, it's like, what are you gonna do to me? Like COVID is
and
like,
you already
hey,
have a symbiotic relationship with them. And so when their friends come in, you're like, hey, I know you guys. You can hang out over there with those other
like
guys,
go sit over
but
there.
don't fuck around because I'm gonna kick you out otherwise.
Exactly.
Right?
And then it was funny because like my mom actually like she found out she had COVID when she was gonna go. Like she had like something like an arthritis kind of situation like going on with her thumb. And here they started testing everybody like just as a part of the procedure. And they tell her like lady, by the way, you have COVID. And she was like, what? and she didn't even realize she had it. She was like one of those like asymptomatic people, and she was like
Yeah,
in her
and some people are
60s,
lucky like
70s.
that, but it's also
Look,
genetics. So you might be bad. I mean, look, don't think you're a
mm,
superhero. Maybe you have good genes, man. But also vitamin D.
probably. Well, it's even better.
Vitamin D helps you a lot because you're
A
not in
lot.
an area that has a ton of vitamin D. So
Yeah,
vitamin D is actually very important for you. Okay, so let me tell you
very.
other stuff you need. So
Hmm.
besides the metformin, the reason why you need the metformin is it'll make you more insulin sensitive. Okay, with 50,000 people who took metformin, 50,000 diabetes patients who took metformin, they were healthier than healthy people,
We're good.
right, in this one clinical trial. And the reason why is it creates basically a fan in your computer, so your computer doesn't overheat. The overheating of your computer is the glucose in your body. The
Okay.
more glucose in your body, the more sugar
Yeah.
you have in your body, the more your body overheats. Okay, and the metformin evens it out. It makes your body more insulin sensitive. The insulin is the thing that absorbs the sugars and makes it more smooth, right? And it basically prevents you from having diabetes. Now, in
Okay.
healthy people should take it too, because it will
Yeah.
also it'll help you prevent diabetes. My mom is diabetic. You know, like my family has it. I'm not going to get it because I'm taking it preemptively, but also it's healthy for you to have a really good system where you don't overheat and your glucose is more even throughout the day. So then when you
Yeah.
actually do this fasting and stuff, it's actually not going to
It's gonna kill you.
basically be spiking like when
Yeah.
you eat, right? Or not spiking when you eat. So the idea is you want to have this all absorbed more smoothly during the day and throughout the 24 hours. And that's why you take the metformin.
Yeah. No,
That
my
makes
niece
sense.
has diabetes, and it could get messed up. Like at some point, you like have to rush, and like I need juice like right now.
Mm-hmm.
So this, the
And
fact
part
that
of,
it avoids it, it's
yeah,
amazing.
and the metformin is definitely safe. Okay, definitely safe. I've been taking it. I've been taking the two things, and my mom has been doing it. My wife, you know, my anyone I've been telling who's been taking it has a really good effect. Okay. The other thing you should take, okay, other supplements you should take, turmeric. Okay, turmeric. I also take turmeric in the morning along with the yogurt, and you want to do it on empty stomach. Okay, turmeric will repair your colon and the lining of your stomach and all that stuff. Turmeric is very good for you. Turmeric, number one, for sure. Okay, but on an empty stomach. Don't do it on a full stomach. It won't be effective. It won't be 10 times less effective. Okay, take a pill. Take whatever you want, right? Take the pill. You want to do neem, Neem. Neem is from a leaf. The Indian yogis take it. You can actually even buy the plant and just eat the leaves, one or two leaves a day, or just take the pill, which I do. It'll prevent you from being sick because it's antifungal, you know, antibacterial, right? So basically, it's going to keep you healthy. It's actually a very good plant for you. It's almost like taking cold medicine with preemptively, right? So you don't get sick. Mushrooms, right? Mushrooms for sure. Okay, because you're made of mushrooms in terms of like your ancestors. They breathe.
Hmm.
Mushrooms breathe oxygen. Mushrooms can fight off cancer, Alzheimer's, all those diseases that you talked about. Mushrooms symbiotically, interact with plants with your body, and literally you need to take mushrooms to have the effects of the herbal plant medicine that, and many ancestors have basically talked about, right? Herbal medicine from Chinese medicine, from Asian medicine, from Hindu, from even Ecuador, right? They take mushrooms and roots.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they take mushrooms and roots because it works. It's correctly, it's good science, okay? And Paul Stamens, if you want to take a brand, Paul Stamens, he has a Stamens brand. It's actually very good because he's actually been studying mushrooms for years. He's a pioneer in that field, Paul Stamens. So I would do the Stamens mushrooms supplement, right? And then fish oil, right? Fish oil, salmon oil, something like that.
That for
Because
your
omega
omegas.
threes, omega
Yeah.
threes are really
Yeah.
good for you. These are the two types of oil. Helps your brain, helps you basically with a lot of things in your body. It's actually really good. Nugmam. So Vietnamese people eat nugmam. Nugmam is oil from fish. You guys know that? So basically, we take fish, we dry it, and the oils that fall out, that's fish sauce. Vietnamese people eat nugmam. It's fish
Yeah.
sauce.
Yeah.
And if everything in Asia, people in Asia, we live a long time. We live very healthily, right? So omega 3 is great for you, right?
It's a yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
then, yeah, and then I think one more thing I take is, so I have neem, turmeric, and then,
Mm.
yeah, mushrooms. And I think
Mushrooms.
and then fish oil. And that's pretty much it. Pretty much it. So if that's what caused, me to have this good body. I'm going to take off my shirt.
Oh, we're at that point.
Yeah, I'll take off my shirt. Look, I'm fit, guys. My muscles, I got muscles. I'm not weak, right? This is my off-season weight, and when I was 135, I was 8% body fat. When I was 135 was 8% body fat. I'm probably like 12, 15% body fat right now.
Not bad. I
Right,
mean,
but
you're like, and
look,
that's
I'm
something that's very
hulking.
important.
You know,
Like,
I've been playing tennis. I've been
you're in your
kicking ass in
40s now,
tennis.
so this is a thing. Like, you're in your 40s, and to have like a like to have your body going on like that, it's good.
I'm 46 right now. On
Yeah,
November 19th was my birthday. I turned 46, and I'm
46.
back to when I was 18 years old.
That's not easy. Like,
No,
I seen like all these like fitness influencers, and they're like in their 20s and stuff like that. I mean, like, man, I used to wake up, and that would give me abs just like rolling out of bed. So that's bullshit. At this age, if you're like you're fit, it's not as easy as people think it is.
but what episode is this? What episode are we on?
We're at episode 48.
48. So go back to episode 1. Okay,
Yeah, I don't
episode
see a big
1.
difference for everybody.
I was probably 160 something. Okay,
Shit.
so during this whole process, even though I lost like 20 pounds before the show even started, I lost another 20 pounds.
Yeah, yeah. And it
And
sounds
these are
like
good pounds I lost. Look, I have muscles. Look at this. Look at these guns. Come on. I'll choke you out in my wrestling moves. I got some special wrestling moves, and I can choke
man,
you out with that arm for sure.
we should do that. Like I'll just show up in Massachusetts in Boston, and we should wrestle
No, I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter anymore. I'll play some tennis with you though,
for sure.
because tennis, okay, tennis is good for you. And pickleball, you should definitely do pickleball with your kids or yourself. Okay.
Okay,
The reason why is, let me finish the whole like healthcare thing, right?
let's go ahead.
You want to do also a steam room or a sauna. I also do that in the morning. I do one every day. Okay.
I
And that's
want
what gets
that.
these guns from me. Okay. Let me tell you why. You don't have to do any weightlifting. You
I do
don't
that every
have
day.
to do anything except stretching.
Okay.
Here's why. Okay. Not only am I fit, but not only can I touch my toes. Not only can I touch my toes with these knuckles.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
only can I touch my toes with these fists. I can touch my toes with my palms. I can touch the ground with my palms.
Okay. I can too.
Okay.
It's good.
The reason why you want, and when I stretch, I can, basically I do what's called Bikram yoga.
Yes.
So
That's in the
Bikram
heat, no?
yoga is in the steam room
Yeah.
or in the sauna. Steam room is better. Okay. It actually lets you release your pores and push out all the bad guys, all the senescent cells, all the bad
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
and flush your body every freaking day. So almost think
Really
about that
good.
frat parties. Nasty frat party. You take a steam room, is like taking like the hose from the fire hose from outside and just hosing the whole freaking thing down with hot water.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's fun. Like besides the fact that it's good for you, you actually enjoy it, and it's a fun kind of workout.
I listen to music, some like, okay, so Sonic. So if you listen to if you go to Spotify or anywhere, look for the Tibetan bowls.
Okay. Yeah.
Or the sounds that like the high resonant frequencies, all those things are real. Okay, in my lab at Phuc Labs, we're using sonic power. We're sending it to a startup that actually could take this sonic frequency and break apart pieces of metal from each other and grind it for us. Okay, when I was a little kid, I would load programs by running a tape or recording from a tape, and it would actually go like a fax machine. And that's
Yeah.
how programs are loaded into your computer, literally. So when you play the Tibetan sounds in the steam room or the sauna, you're loading a program from your brain to heal itself. Okay? You can heal your body by activating your sirtuins by fasting, by not eating. You can do it with chemicals like resveratrol and other stuff like that, introducing that to your body. You can also do it from introducing sound, right? The right kind of frequency resonance. And why do you think these Tibetan bowls exist? They're the hard drives for thousands of years of research of what resonant frequency works. These ancients, whether they be like Hindu or Arab, or even like the songs in the church,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? There's certain sounds that will activate endorphins in your body, activate certain things in your body that will heal itself spiritually, emotionally, and actually physically.
Well, yeah, if you go, I went to a Buddhist temple the other day, years ago, and the chant kind of gets you like in this trance, so you can like go beyond that, and it's pretty interesting. And when you have like, sometimes I did it alone, and then when you do it in a group, that same vibration and reverb, like the reverb of everything, hits you in a different way.
Yeah. So the group, right,
Hmm.
is you loading the program and amplifying it, right, and having the neurons fire and having all those sounds and be part of it, and then you go back to that moment and you basically disappear because when you close your eyes and you meditate and you're in that shower and it's hot, you're in that room with the Buddhist priests or whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And literally, right, you can benefit from thousands of years of research into the best way to heal your body. Literally, right? And that's why I do
Yeah,
it every day.
no,
It's awesome, right?
and that's like going
And what
back to
you
what we
want to
said at
do
the
is
beginning. Like going back what we said
what's
at the
that?
beginning is that like the fact that we live longer and we're able to like process that information and pass it down from generation to generation is what gives us like that elevated level. So might as well use it. Like if the information is there.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I'm just
Yeah.
telling you the
Yeah.
clinical trial that I'm doing. It's a
Yeah,
one
exactly.
person clinical trial.
Hmm.
I'm giving the results of it. So I'm not just bullshitting. I'm telling you what I actually do. Okay.
Yeah.
It actually works. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing, okay, is you want to turn off the steam room or sauna, or actually leave it on.
Okay.
Or if you have the steam shower, just turn the shower on super cold, right?
Oh, yes. Like
Or step outside in the winter for like 2-3 minutes, and then go back into the sauna again. So basically, what you want to do is you want to have like a squeezing of the sponge. The first
like
time you go in the steam room, you squeeze the sponge once. When you leave and you go to the code, you unsqueeze it, and you squeeze it again when you go inside, and you're doing it twice. So
what is it
cold
like
shower, then
it
steam room
activates,
again.
well it activates
And
like
what you
what
want
the
to do is
heat
when you do the
shock.
cold shower, right? You
Yeah.
want to take a shower in your armpits, right?
Yeah.
In your lower and basically your core area. Because there are two body temperatures. There's your outside body temperature, but also your core temperature.
Yeah.
What you want is you want to flush your core temperature by taking that shower because the water is going to remove the heat from your body, and you don't have to do the ice bath. So like Joe Rogan does an ice bath. It's
Yeah, I
too
saw
much work.
that. It's crazy.
It's
And it's like,
stupid.
man, like when you get those like the heat shock proteins, everything starts
No, it's
firing.
not stupid. It's just overkill for what you need to do because all you need to do is flush out all that heat. You can take a cold shower, literally just put like this cold water on, and just armpits, core area, in like a minute or two. It's the same thing as an ice bath, but you don't have to go through all that pain. He goes through a lot of pain for no reason.
Well, he seems to enjoy it though. Like we used to do that. There used to be this spa called Polar Bear back in Canada, and you would sit in that in your sauna until everything was like cooking and you were like dripping in sweat for like 20 to 30 minutes. And then they had like this frozen river. Like the river was freezing because it's winter, right? So it's like minus 20, minus 30 degrees Celsius, just for the people in the States. And they had like these little stairs, and you would submerge yourself in the cold, freezing river and then come back out. And it was amazing. You did that 2, 3 times and you felt great.
Yeah, when you leave the steam room and you jump in that, it's like actually, oh my god, it's so hot. This feels so
Yes.
good. And then it's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, this doesn't feel so good. And that's when you go back into the hot, and then that's like, oh my god, this is so good. And like you stay there,
Yeah.
and then you veg
It's
out, and then
really
you take
good.
a regular shower or cold shower if you want. And
And,
then
and
I
and
have a
after like
massage chair.
after like your cold dip, just being outside at minus 20 doesn't feel like anything.
Yeah.
You're just there
Like
chilling. It's everything is
it's like
nice.
the opposite, right? It's like your body is like, okay, I need to jump into the fire because I'm freezing, or I
Yeah.
have to jump
Yeah.
into the ice because I'm too hot. And it's actually a good sensation because you're squeezing the sponge,
It
squeezing
feels
the
great.
sponge, and you're cleaning all the bad stuff, and you're allowing. Look at my skin, dude. Look at the pores on my skin. I used to have bad acne and all that when I was a young kid,
Okay.
and my skin. Look, I used to have like lines on my eyes. They're gone. No fucking Botox, right?
Yeah.
Your skin is healed from steam room, and if you get sick, you can actually go into the steam room and heal your lungs. If you're a smoker,
Okay.
if you smoke cannabis like me, it'll heal your lungs.
The steam room heals your lungs?
Yes.
Shit.
I'll be, I guarantee you, without the steam room, my life would be way different. So definitely steam room, and you can buy a steam shower and install it in your house for like 15,000. I know it's a lot of money, but how much is your freaking SUV car?
Okay,
80K?
like yeah, about. And
Something
you
like
get like
that, right?
that
Some
space in
a lot of
your
people
in
buy
your in your
stupid shit
house.
like cars. Don't buy stupid shit like cars. Buy a freaking steam room for your health and your family's health. And the other thing you should buy is a $12,000 massage chair. It's called the Nada Robo. That's the massage chair I have.
Just
It's
for
an
the
AI
we
based
don't get paid
massage
for
chair
this.
that massages your body and stretches it and all this stuff and all the acupuncture points. Because literally, that's the circulation.
Okay.
Right? It's going to increase your circulation after the steam room. It's going to make you feel great, fantastic. So my 4 or 5 a.m. I do that. This is my routine. I take the supplements, the pills. I basically take the neem, the mushrooms, all that, and then I eat that yogurt with NNM and the resveratrol and all that stuff, right? And the metformin is part of that. And I go to steam room and I do massage chair, and that's my routine. And by the time it's like 8 or 9, it's like I feel so refreshed and ready to go, right? And then I have so much energy. I don't even work out. All I do is I play tennis and pick a ball, and sometimes I go biking to play pickleball or play tennis. And the reason why you want to play tennis and pickleball or something like that is the hand-eye coordination will
It's a cardio.
improve your
Yeah.
mind
Your
and
cognitive.
prevents Alzheimer's and
Yeah.
dementia.
Yeah.
And actually, the steam room and the sauna, 70% will improve your chances of reducing your dementia by 70%, according to a study. So basically, there was a peer review paper. Some people in Norway, right? The Norwegians did this. The Nordics did a test, and the reason why they did it because everyone has a steam room, so it didn't have to be like one of those things where some people didn't have steam rooms. Everyone had steam rooms. So the people who did do steam rooms, they reduced not only dementia, right, but they also reduced cardiac issues, so heart
And
attacks,
70% is a lot.
70%.
Like it's a huge number.
It 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 works basically. So
Yeah.
if you don't want to
Yeah.
get Alzheimer's, you don't want to become crazy and get old like an old lady, right, or old man like me, right, or you don't want to suffer from a heart attack.
Which sucks as well. Yes.
It's just there's a cure. Just literally go to the steam room, enjoy it every day. That's an excuse for you to do a steam room or sauna. There's a YMCA near your house that probably has a steam room or sauna. There's probably something you can do. You can install it in your house if you have more means. I would
Yeah.
recommend that.
And it's
A
just nice
steam
to be
shower.
there. Like, and on top of that, like, you get all these like pros to being there. Like, why would you not do it?
Yes. So let me end with this. It's 3 minutes left. It's some woo-woo stuff. I've lived in
Oh,
America for a long time. I'm a great fan of America. I'm not a fan of the medical system in America or the science that's
it's
supposedly called
severely
science.
lacking.
They're not scientists. They're basically evangelists of basically commercial enterprises, right? The whole
Yes.
food pyramid is bullshit. It's there to sell you wheat, which is a crop the Americans make really a lot of. Help us to sell you corn, which is the main crop that a lot of people depend on. But all that food pyramid stuff is bullshit. You should only eat once a day, not 3 times a day. Okay, you shouldn't eat that much wheat or all that stuff that's really bad for you. But go ahead and eat it, man. I don't give a shit because just eat once a day. You'll be fine. I eat pizza, right? It's good.
Pizza's
But the
good.
main thing is don't follow the bullshit where you say if my kids don't eat 3 times a day, they're gonna starve. It's gonna be unhealthy for them. They won't grow to their maximum potential, which is what they teach you. So you force feed these kids, and then guess what? They take art programs away. They take phys ed away, or maybe they make phys ed not that important. And kids are taught that it's okay to be fat. These are fat models, there's fat this, and it's not okay to be fat. You shouldn't be
No,
fat.
no.
It should be something that you should basically look down on because that means you don't have discipline. It means you ate too much, you didn't exercise enough, and you're probably gonna die young. And if you want to have people die young, you can feed this bullshit, which is not based on science, but based on commercial reasons. If you
Yeah,
want to
there's a
defend the
profit.
commercial reasons because you think blah 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 blah, it's bullshit. You're not looking at the reality that's in front of you. You can see what happened to me, right? And you can see what can happen to other people who actually listen to science, who study and actually are actually thoughtful thinkers and not just yelling emotional rants about why you're a bad person for saying stuff like that. But we're not bad
Exactly.
people. We're trying to save your lives.
Like you're missing
I'm
the
trying to save
point.
my kids' lives, the lives of people who are growing up and being taught bullshit.
And it sucks. I mean, like this is like the what everybody thinks, and like, oh, you're making fun of that fat person. They're fat phobic. Like, Fuck off. Like this is really like,
My brothers, I say the same thing to their face. They're fat. They
and
drink Coke. They drink too much soda all the time. They don't do what I tell them to do in terms of fasting, all that. They see
mhm.
clearly working, but guess what? They've been brainwashed by society, by conformism. They conform.
Yeah, no, it's way
Everything I say
easier
to
to
them
just eat
seems
your crap.
crazy, wacky, whatever. But guess what? I do this for a job,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
don't.
and if you don't want to pay attention to like good advice, that's on you. I mean, like I love you and everything because you're my brother and whatnot, but man, like I'm not your mom either. So
Yeah.
you make your own choices in
I'm a
life.
scientist. I could give you the science. I can give you the
Exactly,
facts.
but
I
I
can give you
can't.
the peer reviewed data. I can see you can see my body one more time before I leave. And these are real muscles, right? Like this is a real belly that has no fat on it, very low fat on it. And I barely try. I barely try because all I have to do is follow the instructions of the computer.
Yeah, it's done. I think that's it.
The
You just like,
computer says you should have a fan, right? You should allow me to defrag my hard drive. You should allow me to run my antivirus. You should go ahead and use me correctly. And if you do, you can benefit and we can work together and we can live a long time and healthy. Not only am I healthy, I have so much energy,
yeah.
but I'm going to be there for my kids.
I know what was
Down
crazy
the
to me
road,
is
right?
that like you're already taught to follow instructions. Just follow the better instructions that I'm suggesting. Like you already don't like thinking and you're, like on your own and everything because you like you've already absorbed and taken in all this crap information that they're giving you. Take this information instead. Like just follow these instructions. Like they're way better for you, and you'll see the
Yeah. So
benefits
when
right
people do the
away.
New Year's resolution and they have the stupid diet programs and blah, 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 you can call this the Phuc diet. What? It's not even the Phuc diet. It's the David Sinclair diet. David Sinclair, Michael Levin, other scientists who have discovered that your computer is very programmable, very
Yeah,
controllable.
yeah, yeah.
And you just have to know what program to run and to run properly. Follow the
That's it.
instructions.
And that's it.
And if it doesn't work,
Try
then
something else. Like you do.
maybe there's something wrong with the science. You can report it to me, David Sinclair, other people. But I highly doubt it. I highly doubt that we're wrong because I've done it with myself. I've done it with my wife. I've done it with people who actually want to do it and they actually have benefited. My mom, like this is my family. These are the people I
Exactly.
love.
Like I wouldn't do bad stuff to people I love. So
And I
this is
make
it.
$0 out of this, by the way.
Yes. Like
Right? These things are free, almost free. And that's why no one's talking about it. No one makes money. But I don't care about money. I care about you guys. So happy New Year's. Happy 2022. Happy 2023. I hope you have a good New Year's. And hopefully when we come back, quick update. I found this investor. We'll call him Dr. M. Recommended to
oh,
me by somebody.
okay.
Dr. M is a heart surgeon. And he has an investment group. He's also a
Okay.
very good businessman. And I really like him a lot because spiritually, we connected. I believe that spiritual awareness of my employees, of my partners, of my investors, I think that's the number one criteria for me. And he may take the whole round and put the whole amount. And I'm really excited because I met with him on Monday for lunch. This is like what today is. Today's Thursday.
Today's Thursday,
He's going
29th.
to visit the lab next week. He's a man of his word. When he visits the lab and he sees it working, he's probably going to invest the whole thing with his group. Maybe we can get some other people in who are strategic, like some other VCs we've been talking to.
Yep.
But he said to me what I wanted to hear. He's like, "I believe in you, Phuc. I think venture capitalists are great, but sometimes they're annoying, and they ask for crazy things, and they don't actually help that much.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
actually willing to help you and actually fill that role." And I'm like, I want that because I want to have fate over my own destiny. And I want to work with really smart people who are really motivated and who believe in the mission. And he does. And he's a great person. And one of the things we agree on is that our employees, now staff members, we have to really take care of them like family. We have to pay them well. We have to, motivate them. And that's the key to winning. The key to winning is having a good team, having good spiritual kind of awareness. So you can, activate really smart people, find them, and have them want to work for you and make you successful. And so in this new year, once we get this funding, if any of you guys want to help, ping me, Phuc at phuclabs.com. We're probably gonna be hiring, but hopefully this works out. I'm really happy that I met this person, and this is hopefully the beginning of something great. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. But that could be the end of this journey of fundraising, which sucks.
It's been a
And we can finally
long
start
time.
building. Yeah. Well, the main thing is, I'll be honest, right? You have a bunch of white guys in San Francisco in positions of power or whatever it is, trying to make a decision about you, a minority with the name Phuc. And there are a couple of
Yeah.
people who say, hey, you should change the name of the company and all that stuff. There's some racism there.
Oh,
There's
that's
some
definitely.
bullshit that goes on. But that hasn't ever stopped me. Right? I got to Harvard. I started several companies. I raised a shitload of money. And I'm going to win. And those people, they need to be filtered out. Right? The people who think they're awesome and amazing and in positions of power, typically tall white guys from San Francisco or all that stuff, say no to me. That's cool. You just revealed who you are.
Exactly.
You are spiritually not aware. You basically judge people based on my name, my ethnicity, maybe my background. But I'm way smarter than you, and more. I'll be way more successful because I actually am filled with love and forgiveness. And basically, when people work with me, they're going to realize it's superior to working for you guys or working with you guys. So that's my, F you to those who said no to me. But those who say yes to me, I'm going to deliver. I always do.
And over
I always
deliver
win.
soon.
Okay. Thank you for your faith. Thank you for all this, and we'll see what happens.
For sure. And see you guys next time. Happy New Year's. And may 2023 bring everything we ever wanted.
Yep. And this is the
Take,
beginning, guys. Thanks.
take care. Bye.